Howdy folks, this is Howie here at Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, the incubator has finally arrived, the GQF incubator. It's a cabinet style incubator. I'll tell you a little bit about it in a minute, but I've shared this on several of our videos that we've been looking forward to getting our incubator, and finally FedEx has brought it. It was actually it took a couple of weeks. They told me to be could be 4 to 6 weeks when I ordered it, but lo and behold, they showed up and here it was. I'll just tell you a little bit about GQF. Used to, back when I was still in high school, I got into raising quails and pheasants and stuff, and this GQF stood for Georgia Quail Farm. And back in the day, they were mostly a quail farm operation. They had sold bobwhite quail eggs and different stuff like that. And they got to building incubators, and these incubators were such a success and did so well that people got to buying more of that kind of stuff. And so they've kind of gotten out of the quail farm business. They still sell quail eggs. You can order through their web page, but I'm not even sure if they even raise them. I think someone else does. They probably contract that out to growers or whatever, but don't make no difference. But they've been making incubators for years. My cousins lived right down the road here from us, and they had one of these incubators, but it was before. This one has electronics. It's got an automatic turner and everything. Before that turns your eggs. Before all that come along, my cousins would have to, I'd go down and help them just about every day. They raised pheasants, quails, turkeys, all kinds of stuff. And then I finally got my own flock of birds going here. And anyway, they had this incubator, and they just turned the handle on the back somehow. From what I remember, you turn it one way and it turns your eggs kind of like this. The next day it turned the trays like this. This one does it automatically. It will turn the eggs, and slowly it comes back up. It turns like this and back and forth throughout the day. But it also has an electronic control board that counts the number of times your eggs have turned, and it keeps track of your temperature and the humidity. It's a dry bulb humidity. It doesn't do a wet bulb humidity, but it's still close enough. It'll get you what you need to know with the humidity. But anyhow, the old ones also, the one my cousins had a wafer disc in there for to control the temperature. It was just an old analog deal. Worked really, really well, but it wasn't as accurate as what these are. As the new modern, I'll show you here in just a minute, the electronic controls and that kind of stuff. But I've always wanted one of these of my own. Back in those days, I didn't really need one because they'll set a lot of eggs. It's got 3 racks in here for egg setting, 1 rack down here for hatching. We did plenty. We had plenty of room to hatch all the eggs that I ever wanted to hatch, along with theirs. And they got to where they would charge people to hatch eggs, and sometimes they would set eggs like on halfers or something. You know, someone bring in some pheasant eggs, and they'd say, well, we'll hatch, we'll keep half, you keep half of what hatches. They got really good at it where they've got such big hatches, like 80-90% hatches, that it was pretty reliable. Sometimes they might charge a certain fee per egg. I wanted to say it was $1 an egg, but I don't know if that was back then, if that would have been true or not. But anyway, they would set eggs for people, and it was really reliable. These were real good incubators. But I've always wanted one. They're a little pricey. This incubator, you also have to order, besides the incubator itself, you have to order in these little hatching trays. They're plastic, and your eggs set down in them, and they'll slide in on these shelves. Well, I ordered the turkey one. Or not turkey, there's one for a little bit bigger eggs like turkeys and ducks. I ordered the chicken one, and I ordered the quail egg one. The only tray I didn't order was the tray for goose, because I didn't think we really need that. It also, we can order a bucket that mounts up here, and the bucket will go in here to where your humidity tray is, and it will keep it automatically filled. It'll have a little hose that runs over here. There's a hole already made in this thing. You can run your hose through in there, and you'll keep your humidity level at a constant level so that you don't run out of water. That is coming. It just hasn't gotten here yet. They used to make a glass door. This whole thing was glass. A lot of the older ones you'll see, you could order that as an accessory. Right now, for some reason, they're not offering the glass door as an accessory, as far as I know, but they hopefully will be available. But you can see through here enough to see all that you really need to see with this plexiglass door that it has here. But anyway, over the years, I've known a lot of people who've had these, people that's had great success. They're, styrofoam incubators, and if you're just going to do a few things a year, that's probably fine. I've got me a little giant styrofoam incubator. It's got a little fan that turns inside of it to keep the air circulated. It's got an automatic egg turning stuff. We have just had poor hatches on that. And what I mean by poor, we just set it full of eggs, and we got 4 chicks out of the whole square incubator. Back when I was a kid, I had several different incubators. I used to have some metal ones. You may have seen them before. They hatched duck eggs really well, but didn't really ever do very good for chickens or quails, that stuff. They would hatch, but not as good as one of these would. And so I know it's expensive up front, but with our food situation the way it is, and if you're trying to raise your own food, quail, pheasants, chickens, whatever, if you have one of these, then you have a constant a way to hatch your eggs. Right now, all of our places around here are sold out of baby chicks. You can order baby chicks in, but there's a little wait on even getting baby chicks by mail. But this would give you a way you can, if you can get eggs from somebody. We have our own chickens, so we can just set our own eggs, raise our own birds, eat the roosters, and keep the pullets, and probably have more pullets than what we want, so we can eat some of them too. Quail, we're wanting to get into quail. That was another reason why we got this. This hatched quail eggs, they do very, very well. And you can set a lot of quail eggs in there. I forgot the exact number, but it's over 1,000 quail eggs you can set at a time in one of these. And everything's pretty much automatic. You set the eggs in here, get them in there, and go with it. Now this just has one hatching tray, so you pretty much got to set one of these setting trays at one time, because you've got 3 of them and only one hatcher down here at the bottom. So we have to kind of time your eggs, because like you can set one batch one week, the next week set another tray, the next week set the other tray, and then each week you've got babies hatching, and do something like that. They make a whole cabinet like this that is just a hatcher. And they also make a whole cabinet like this that is just the incubator without the hatching tray. This is called the Sportsman. And it has the electronic controls, all that kind of stuff. When you got done with everything, price-wise, the trays, I ordered little papers that go in the bottom of your hatcher. Everything shipping, the whole ball of wax, and it cost me a little over $1,000 to get set up here. So that is an investment. But a lot of people will go buy a big screen TV and spend that kind of money, or a new computer, or nowadays the cell phones are getting outrageous. So these high-tech ones. So you take this here. If I take care of it, and I will, I'm pretty good to take care of my stuff. It should last me from now on. When you're not using it, just unplug it, clean it, put it up, and it'll sit there and wait for you till next time. Anyway, I'm going to take you into this thing and show you the inner workings here. This incubator has a control board over here on the side, and when this yellow light is flashing, this amber light, it's telling you that you're at the desired temperatures. It says right now we're at 46% humidity. We have it set at 100 degrees, and we're at 100.1. That turn count, it tells you how many times it has turned the eggs, and it just keeps rotating back and forth. There's your egg count, 24, 100 degrees, what we got it set for. 100.1 is the temperature, 46% humidity. This flashing lights just tell me, and it has the description of what everything means, but it's just telling me that the temperature is near the desired set point. This over here, we have the incubator right now set on automatic to turn automatic. If I want to go manual, I can go manual. And what that does, you have 3 little latches here, and I'm going to show you what the manual does. Basically what it says, you're just going to manually turn your incubator here. And you see they're almost flat. This thing does real slow one way and brings it back up, but to manually turn it, and I'm going to level it out, flatten it out here. You got to have it flattened out like this. I hope you can hear me over these little fans. They're not very loud, I don't think, here, but you have to have it level to put your trays in here. I'll show another video of setting eggs. We've got eggs that need to be set. But anyway, you'll set them in your little trays and you slide them in here on this rack, each rack. But you got to have it level to get the hatching tray out, because these turn and go down into your hatching tray. So you got to have it level to get that in and out. And they supply, you can buy these little papers. It comes with one that slide in this little tray. That makes it easy to clean out. It's got a rough side, but it'll also help you keep your chicks from getting spraddle-legged if you have something that they can get a hold of in here. Another thing that works good for this, if you don't want to order from them, is a liner like you would put in your cabinets, or you can buy this rubber liner that's used for toolboxes and stuff and put it in there. Whatever you can get that's reasonable, just something to keep them, though they have a little grip on that in there when they're first born. There's the heater back here in the back and 2 little fans that constantly run, and they're what circulates the air. That's what makes these so good, is the constant, I mean, it really circulates the eggs and keeps you an even temperature throughout the entire incubator, and keeps you a level humidity level as well, a constant humidity level. You want about 45% roughly for while they're setting. When you go to hatching, you want to increase it to about 55%. Here's where the water goes in, and you keep your moisture in here. It has some wicking pads it comes with. That's for humidifiers. You can place one of them in here, and that will wick that water up, and with that fan blowing over this, it will increase your humidity when you get ready to start hatching. You really probably normally would just need one of these, unless one of them placed in here. I've already put them up in the cabinet over there for now, so they didn't get lost or thrown away accidentally. But if you need more humidity, you can slide another one back here in the back. You can also use sponges and stuff like that. But right now, to get 46% humidity, I don't have any sponges, nothing in here, just water. They recommend using distilled water to keep stuff from getting calcium and stuff build up. Especially when I hook up the automatic watering system. A bucket will set up here and a hose will run around. They send you a new one of these that has a float in it, and that little float will keep the water constant. But you know, if you know anything about hard water, it can cause you to calcium buildup and stuff will cause stuff not to work right. We don't have a real hard water problem here, or we got a good water system, but it is still a little bit hard water. And when I get ready to start the eggs again, I can hit automatic, and it'll go back now. It's set for automatic, and it'll start turning the eggs automatically. But a pretty simple, easy, anyone could hatch eggs. I think I've said this already, but if you had one and you got through using it, you could loan it to neighbors and friends. You could probably even rent it out for a fee if you wanted to. I'm kind of picky over my stuff, not wanting to loan it out very much, but I would set eggs for people if they come along and needed set. But this way we could raise our own eggs. Used to, chickens set a whole lot more than they do today. I think they have bred the broodiness out of the chickens, because our big chickens that we have, bannies are still pretty good to set, but our regular sized chickens, what I call big chickens, they don't tend to want to set much. So this would give me a way to hatch eggs anytime I wanted to, and also keep my own chicken flock going. I've got turkeys and ducks and stuff like that, and I used to raise pheasants, quails, and all that kind of stuff. Back into it more. I've kind of kept chickens all along, but I'm getting more into the birds, and we've got turkeys now and guineas, and we had some ducks and something's caught them. We've got chickens, and I will end up wanting to raise, I'll be getting some bannies. Me and my son, we have a project going right now. We're going to build some pens for brooder pens and laying pens for quail. And so I hope you follow along with that. That's a big thing right now, get the quail. A lot of places right now, our stores, like our farm stores, are actually sold out of chickens, baby chicks, and some of them, the places that sell quail, are sold out of quail already this year, or there is a big backlog on getting your eggs. But we'll end up hatching our own eggs, starting out from scratch. We'll raise us some probably raise the Cortex or Pharaoh quail, and probably raise a bobwhite quail. My son really wants to raise a bobwhite quail, so we will be raising them. It's something he's interested in. He's will be 22-year-old before long, but he's been around these birds all of his life, and he's enjoyed them as well. And he's always wanted to raise quail, and so we're going to get into it now that we can, and we're going to get set up here. Like I say, we got the incubator. We need to build the pens and do some things, but here in it takes a lot to get set up, so I recommend get set up right before you just jump into something. You know, you don't have to get a big incubator. You could do a small styrofoam incubator. That's what we had here, like I said earlier. But you start out small, but get yourself prepared. Don't go get an incubator, hatch a whole bunch of quail, then you don't have a pen for them. Go get your stuff and get your pens built. Get everything set up. Build good, nice stuff is my recommendation. Also at GQF, they sell quail batteries. They're set up where you can stack the quail in these little pens and put like a male and a couple of females, however you want to do it. They also sell the brooders, and you can stack them, and I've seen people have them. They're kind of pricey, but they're metal. They have the heaters built in them. Everything's set up, and they work really nice. It's just that you get into some money with them, but once you buy them, of course, it's kind of like the incubator. They'll be here forever. Me and my son, for right now, we're going to make our own and give that a try, and there's several people on the internet that's doing it. We're going to get into it and do it, and I hope you enjoy the journey. Come along with us, and here before long I'll do a video on setting eggs, and we'll try to do one all the way through setting the eggs, hatching the eggs, the whole process, and let you see how that is. But anyway, we appreciate you watching today here at Cedar Creek Homestead. If you're not a subscriber, we want to invite you to subscribe. Sometimes folks ask how they can help us, and that would be the biggest help at all is when you subscribe to our channel. And that helps our channel grow, helps get our videos out more, and if you give us a thumbs up, that even helps, and it also helps with the algorithms within YouTube if you comment. And so You hit that subscribe button, over to the side a little bell will pop up. If you'll click that bell, you can set it to notify you when we upload new videos, so you can come along and watch us on our journey here as we start hatching quail and other type of birds and chickens and guineas and whatever. I've got some guinea eggs out there right now. I've got some turkey eggs, and I've also got of course lots of chicken eggs. So we're planning on getting this thing set up and ready to go. We're just waiting for the to make sure the temperature and humidity, everything's going to stay constant. These are real reliable, but you need to let them run at least 24 hours before you go to load them up. I'd recommend letting it run 48 hours probably, but at least 24. And in your first batch of eggs that you put in these, you want to use some inexpensive eggs. Just use some chicken eggs you got, whatever, and run a batch through here. Make sure and get used to it. I'm pretty used to incubating and familiar with that, but if you've never incubated before, I know it takes 21 days to see, but get you some chicken eggs that you know are fertile or have reason to believe they're fertile. Put them in, get them started. 21 days, you'll find out if they hatch real good and you've done everything you're supposed to do. By the way, they send you a book with this that tells you your humidities and where to set them at, so that helps a whole lot too. Appreciate you watching today. May God richly bless you, and we'll see you next time here at Cedar Creek Homestead. We're gone.